let's see if we can get this live. We get this all this going on, and we'll figure out how we can get this. But I have a special guest. Welcome to the Real Talk, Real Change, Real Stories, Real Change 2.0. I'm your host, Gordon Watt, and today for the relaunch of the show, I have a very special guest, my dear friend Sherrie Tavares. And today's topic is holding on to second chances, and where specifically was her rock bottom. You ain't gonna want to miss this. I'm gonna share this out so that you guys that's watching this, let's see, and we can figure out how we can get this into your hands and how you can be working with. Let me pump this intro in here and we'll just get going. Oh crap, we had a let's get this show on the road. All right, welcome. I'm your host Gordon Watt, and today's relaunch, like I started earlier, is going to be part of a show that I've been waiting for her to get in a long time. And my dear friend Sherrie Tavares has been with me through thick and thin. I've been with her for so long, and what better to launch this real talk program by talking about second chances. Welcome, Sherrie Tavares, to the program.
Hi. Did we have some technical difficulties?
Yeah, you're going.
Oh,
It's
okay.
still
I was like, what did I
yeah.
do?
No,
I
you're
shared
fine.
it on.
Yeah.
Okay, because I shared
All
it
right.
onto my page, and I was like,
No,
oh.
you're fine. It's
Okay.
just a matter of she's going to be streaming. She's streaming. She's living the lifetime, the laptop's lifestyle. What? Let me give you a little introduction about how Sherrie came. Sherrie Tavares is a well-known expert of the subject of holding on to second chances, addiction, and moving forward, and has graciously consented to this interview, show, podcast, or wherever you got going on, wherever you listen to, whether it's going to be live on Facebook, YouTube, and with all the different platforms. She is here with me to share personal, extensive knowledge and experience. So every recovering mom, dad, addict, go-getter, anyone that is struggling with moving forward, even with this situation that's going on, we decided to do this on a Saturday morning because, you got online school going on and you have everything else going on. So I decided, let's pivot like everybody else in business and give the most value on the day that everybody can at least watch the replay. And she's going to show you how she did it and enjoy who you become at the end of the tunnel. What makes Sherrie so special to this show, since moving past all her turmoils, and she has been through some turmoils, guys. She can attest to that because we've been together for a while now. She has recently launched her own podcast called The Recovering Mom Raw and Unedited. Is an Instagram superstar in my eyes and is currently mentoring an organization of about 1,000 promoters and customers for her own business, right? She has taught me more about family than she could ever know. That's how dear. In fact, I believed in her so much and her capabilities. I had her write the back page of my book when she was still going through these struggles, right? To put her in the position where she is potentially the superstar she is today, right? We can go on to stories about this, but if time allows, we'll get to some things that might help others move on from drastic events, especially right now with the situations going on and holding on to dear life, to second chances, because we both know about second chances. Sherrie Tavares, thank you again for joining us on this live show. Let's just jump right in. If you can share how you got started with our audience and figure out how we can do this together, right? Give a little bit about yourself, Sherrie.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you, Gordon, for that introduction. I feel like I just walked the red carpet on. But it's such an honor to be doing this interview with you finally after all these years. It's also been an honor watching you do what you're doing right now. Like just the work, that your time that you volunteer into our community, especially into the youth at risk, is very inspiring and motivating. And it keeps me wanting to become a better person just watching you go through that. Because, I mean, let's face it, a backpack and a pair of socks, or what was it? Like, I just tripping out at how far you came. But a little bit of my backstory is I'm a mom, I'm a grandma. And I've been in self rehabilitation for a little over 4 years now. July
Mhm.
21st, 2020, I just celebrated my 4th year of being drug free. Before that, prior to that, and Gordon can attest to this, I face planted into earth like no other. And it was like that. It was super, super fast. And as fast as I had gained everything materialistically, I had lost it all. So by the end of, while I was in my addiction, the last couple of days I spent, a lot of the times actually, I spent homeless. So as a homeless addict here in
Mm.
Las Vegas, found myself couch surfing from house to house, never really had a place to call home. Um, Gordon can attest to that as well, because he would drive around Las Vegas looking for me to drag my butt back home. But it's it. I don't. A lot of people will be like, "What in the world?" But I don't regret the journey that I've been on.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
I just truly believe that if I did not go through what I went through, not just in my addiction, but prior to that as well, um, I probably wouldn't be here today. I probably wouldn't be the person I am today, and I probably wouldn't have impacted as many lives as I do today. So, as much as I'd like to thank God for all the blessings that is now coming back to me, I always thank Him for that journey, because it's because of that journey I am where I am today.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I can truly attest. Many, um, I'm the type of friend for Sherry where she would call and she can attest to a lot of these things where I'm the friend that just knocks sense into where she has to cry, lock her in a room. Me and her husband Kalani would come tell me about situations. I would go driving around looking for her because I always knew the true potential she had if she had the right mentor, the right place. And what the beauty of it is, a lot of times we need to go through this process, this own journey. Even like with her business right now, she used to come to my house. I had a friend tell me, if you listen to what Gordon is doing, he only drops hints at what you can possibly do. Because I can't do the work for you, right? Part of the process is going through those ups and downs and what kind of things that you might experience along the way. And I'm very, very so happy to say that, the thing that she's doing right now and helping other recovering women with her podcast, like for me, I help as much people as I can because it's all about holding on to second chances and doing that the blessings that you have and sharing it with other people. And that's why a lot of the times people have to go through their own journey. I mean, let me ask you this, what roadblocks that stick into your head, or when it was that one time when you knew you hit your rock bottom?
When I knew I hit my rock bottom, it was probably the day that I left that whole scene. I don't even remember where I was, Gordon. I do remember that I was laying on the bathroom floor. I was crying.
Mhm.
Um, I had um, I had a fairly substantial amount of drugs on me, and all I could think about was I wanted to swallow that whole bag and just not ever wake up again.
Mhm.
Because I did not know how to fix it. I was so far gone in my addiction that I was thinking to myself, holy crap, like, how do you even dig yourself out of something like this? And how did I even get here?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And
Right.
so
Right.
I my rock bottom for me was I was almost going to I was almost going to end my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, God intervened. But for me, that was my rock bottom.
Right.
And it was just something that came over me. Like, I don't know what it was, but something in me was just like, you're not going to do this. You're
Mm-hmm.
not going to do this. And lo and behold, I didn't think Kalani was going to call me back that day, but he did. He called me back and he was just like, where are you?
Like,
And he came and he got me. And that was the end of that journey.
right.
Had I believe in my heart, had he not come and get me, I don't know where I'd be today. I could be dead. I could still be out on the streets, or I could be in jail, prison.
Right. 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 Right.
So it was those three, and it's scary to think where I was, and it's scary to think where I could be had God not intervened the way He did, and had Kalani not come and just be like, you know, I can't use the words that I want to use
Yeah.
on the
You,
show,
this is raw
but
and unedited. Raw and unedited. I'm gonna tell you. I'm
but
gonna tell you something.
had he not done that, I just don't know where I would be.
I mean,
So
this is gonna be something that probably you don't even know about in your journey, right? Because
no, no, I
Kalani,
will.
I'm gonna tell you straight out. Kalani came to me a few times, right? And I said, let's go get her, right? And me and Kalani had a long talk about you and your situation and everything else. I was kind of disappointed, but I mean, you can also, I'm kind of getting. I'm not a very emotional person, but right now I'm kind of because I talked to Kalani a few times to, I mean, she has more to give, even though we've been through all of this stuff. And a few times came to my house, we talked, and then it's like, go get her. It was my exact, even with a kind of disappointing face, right? And I went on and try to look for you also, but that's all said and bygones because look at where you are right now. Look at
Yeah.
where the situation. I mean, to put it, me and Sherry went to see Tony Robbins, Eric Warr, events, in the hopes for this day to come where I can actually interview her without her crying, right?
Yeah,
That-
don't do it, Gordon. I just put on my lashes
right?
this morning.
It- and it's just going to show that I just love how I knew it always in my heart that one day you would be able to help thousands of people that you're doing right now and to have the life that you truly deserve. And that's the topic for like today, because a lot of times all we need is second chances. I mean, look at the situation that I'm in now and what I have going on for myself, and I just want to carry that blessings on to much more other people. And a lot of the people that's watching this or want to watch this on the replay can relate to your story in a much bigger fashion, because they always ask me, Gordon, where do I start? How can I
Mm.
get this? Let me ask you another question. How long did it take you to get where you are today? Not just years wise, but walk us through the process of some of the things for business, life, self help, and everything else that you've been through during the course of these few years.
Where where did I begin?
Yes. What made it tick where you became this Instagram superstar to we're gonna Instagram superstar, recovering mom addict to the wife you are today, and my friend. And it can help other people understand where you started, what was the middle, what was the beginning, the middle, and the end to get where you are handling 1,000 people in your business and organization. Because some of my people, the women I'm helping right now, needs to hear some sort of thing that it can be done.
Yeah, life after addiction can happen. Um, for me, it didn't. This the life that I'm living now, business wise, you
Right.
guys, I did not know I had this. I did not know that this would be my life. Had you told me two when did I start this business? Almost 2 years ago. Had you told me this almost 2 years ago, I would have been like, I don't know, because I've dabbled in a lot of different things online and tried to do the things, and it just none of it never worked. So um it it wasn't until I found this opportunity that like I I saw myself aligned with everything. But it didn't start off like that, and I didn't start off aligned with everything. It was a journey of trial and error through trying to balance work, life, staying, like trying to cope, use coping skills um, to deal with life stressors so that I don't
Mhm.
like get overwhelmed and my head starts spinning around like an exorcist, and and just try to take it one day at a time. So for me, um, it took a lot of really, really my for me it took a lot of like just sitting down and writing out where it is that you want to be in life,
Right.
and then why do you want to be there? And you
Hmm.
can't just say like, oh, I want to be, let's take sobriety. Okay. It's an easy subject for me to talk to about, but sobriety, people tell me, oh, I just want to be clean and sober. Okay, any one of us can be clean and sober, but why do you want to be clean and sober? And it's not
Right.
just about being clean and sober, right? Because if you
Right.
want to really be successful on your recovery journey or any journey, you
Even
need
li-
to,
even
you
life
need to,
after
yeah,
bad relationships, right? Anything. Different
you got
examples.
to you have to, what I've learned is that you have to detox from everything.
Hmm.
You have to detox from your past. You have to detox from the negative mindset. You need to detox from bad habits. You need to detox from all that lies that we tell ourselves in our head that we cannot do things. And so that's why even with my business in health and wellness, and even coaching women through recovery, it's like mindset is super important.
Right.
If you're going to start anywhere, start with the mindset, because
Right.
you cannot still walk around with this negative mindset and expect your recovery to be uh, a successful one, or expect um, you know your goals or your business to be a successful one if you're constantly walking around in that negative mindset.
Right. 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 I mean, alive. I have in fact, I have one of my group members that's here, and she says that's where I want to be, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to shout out to you, Julie, right now. This is a prime example of one of many that have done it, and she's in the same position as you were a few years ago. But it just takes a little bit of time, the process, the pain, the tears. It's just part of the journey, and everything else that we have going on, because balancing a lot of stuff is going to take experience,
Mm-hmm.
wisdom, dating. You mean certain things. I can talk about with just Sherrie alone how many failures, meetings, things, but I knew in deep in my heart she was going to make it to here where she is right now today, because sometimes you just need somebody to see what's inside of you besides yourself. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Sherry's just one of my many friends that, I mean, is so dear to me, because sometimes that's all you need, somebody to support you in every way. Been there, done that. Like even in her description, she's been there, done that, came back from the dead, flipped back on her head, did a handstand, did so many things, went through so many things through where she is right now, that anybody can do it if you just stick to the path. You mean, in, even like for us in business, both of us. You mean, in fact, I just had a friend tell me that, Gordon, why are you doing this path? I said, because my path took me to becoming experienced being a father, a good man, a person of integrity, where it's like, Sherry taught me this, right? And it's like, because if you guys knew me from the past, everything was about money and business. And
Mm.
that I can do, like it's like riding a bicycle, but doing this doo-doo diaper changes, all this other stuff is all new to me, but I'm experiencing and I can feel for this stuff because but let me ask you this. Let me, in is there a particular story example you like to share that really sums up your experience in holding on to that second chance? Right? Is there one that stands out that in through the years that because I'm like it's a story that you tell that's so dear to you that you could share with the audience of people that going through an abusive relationship problems, getting over this COVID thing going on, getting over the addiction, getting over prison time, getting out, I mean, all the stuff. Put your
Mhm.
factor. What is one story that you um hold dearly to you, especially like when you go on stage or when you're on the webinars? What is your one story?
Um, the story that I always tell is my rock bottom story.
Yes.
I tell
Yes.
my rock bottom story because for me, um, if you're like from the outside looking in, just knowing that, wow, a homeless drug addict actually, turned her life around,
Mhm.
runs a successful business, you know, got her family. I basically everything that I lost that was priceless, meaning money
Mhm.
cannot buy. That was my why. That
Right.
was my why. I was like Gordon, very money money driven, very materialistic in our old life. And like I gotta say, in our old life,
Right,
because now
right,
it's like
right.
if it's not on the clearance rack, it's not going home. Versus our old life where we would walk into any store and be like, yeah, give me that, that, and that. But anyways, it my rock bottom story. I always tell my rock bottom story, and I start with my rock bottom story because I believe that at some point in life, people are gonna hit rock bottom,
Absolutely.
and everybody's rock bottom is gonna be at different levels, and depending on where you are, um, you know, it's you can there is nothing that a person cannot do without a strong mindset. Okay,
Right.
so I thought I would never get out of it, right? And so I wanted the easy way out, but I had to work the steps. I had to find something that worked for me. I had to change my environment. I had to change my mindset. I had to um, just fully die of my old self to become my new self. If that
Right.
makes any
No,
any
absolutely.
sense.
Yeah.
Um, and from there, I did not know what I was doing because I was the type of person that if I didn't know or if I wanted something, I'd go out and buy it or pay
Mhm.
somebody to do it for me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so this is something that I had to do on my own. Recovery is something that, or building a life is something that you have to do on your own. And if you really, really, really want it to be successful, if you really, really, really want it to last, you won't take the easy way out. You will
True.
get in the trenches. You will, you know, dish out blood, sweat, and tears, and you will do whatever it takes to create the life that you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It goes so true because a lot of the times everybody thinks you have an overnight success, and an overnight
Mm-mm.
success does never work because
Mm-mm.
Sherrie and myself have been digging our wells for years. Years. I mean,
Yeah,
I
no.
might not have my 5-car garage, 3 apartments, and looking over the top of Waikiki anymore, but
Your whole building. Gordon doesn't have his building anymore, you guys.
but yeah, I mean, I'm from what you see from my life and how do you think I'm the happiest I've ever been, Sherry?
Yes, I do. And to watch you build the life that you have now. I mean, it's like watching you um that's why I have to laugh every time your wife like posts things. Like when we were in quarantine and you were like doing all these renovations, it was like you rebuilt your house is like our life. Like you're rebuilding and you're renovating, and that's something that's going to be constant no matter until the day we die,
Yeah.
right? We're
Yeah.
always going to be wanting better. We're always going to be wanting to do things to make us better. And it's the same as your house. You're always going to do maintenance. You're always going to renovate. You're always going to want to add things to make it better,
Right.
right? So watching you do all these little projects to your house and your wife is like, oh my God, I need to get home. I would just laugh because I'm thinking to myself, this is him rebuilding his life. You know,
Mm.
this is, it was like me watching you rebuild your life. Like your home, what is your life? You know, they say home is where the heart is. And I'm just like, you know, just laughing like, oh, there Gordon goes again, rebuilding his life, adding something to it to make it better, you know. And now that it is your life, like you have an amazing wife, you folks have the most cutest baby ever, like I can't wait to squeeze him. And just like, although you and I aren't where we want to be, we're going to get to where we want to be, but success is not always, you and I were brought up in that world, success is what's in our bank account, right?
Right. Right. Right.
In this day and age, I think success is what's in our life account. The relationships that we build, the
Exactly.
relationships that we build, the life that we create for ourselves and our family, and what we put out into the community, I think is three of the things that money you cannot compare that to any type of monetary item
Right.
ever.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Right. I mean, for me, like you know, like you've had money, your family's had money, your brothers had money, I've had money. I have money where you had to do what you can't even spend all the money, right? But and you can't even carry the money, right? But it all it did was fulfill my shortcomings on the inside, which is like you said, like where we're both at our lives and our businesses and the happiness that you brought. We've been through a journey that not many survive. And you know, I mean, not many survive. And Sherrie was close to doing that. If you watch the replay later on, you can go back into it, and you know, it's just to inspire other people to want a little bit more, because the wisdom you gain is not going to be really fulfilling unless you can share with somebody else to change the path of their life and what they got going on with its family mindset, all different type of things. Because I'm not money motivated anymore, right?
neither am I.
It's
Like
so strange that
it's weird.
yeah, it's really strange, because when I take on a client, or if somebody comes to me with a proposition, the first thing that comes out of their mouth, Gordon, I know you can do this, we can make a lot of money, I get turned off, boom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just so strange how life goes in that direction and where you move to. Because but if you take somebody like yourself and you know you can change your life for the better, I'm all for that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'll go deep into, even if I have to lose my hardworking money right now, which is not even an issue, right? Because a lot of the times, does that does it come from wisdom, experience, or just plain passing it forward, right?
I think it comes from wisdom and experience.
Right.
It, for instance, a couple months ago, I did a photo shoot here with a good friend of mine,
I see.
and she was like, "Let's go to Gucci after," because I shared with her. She knows like things, you know, my past,
Of course.
and you know, I explained to her that I used to be motivated by money. I used
Mhm.
to be motivated by the shiny stuff, right? And so she was like, I was like, how do I get over it? Because I know eventually at the rate, um, things are going, business is going, life is going, that I will be able to afford to buy me those things, right? And so I told her, I said, I think I have this fear of that, because I would do things with bad money that it just doesn't make me feel good to think about having those things anymore,
Right.
you know?
Oh, okay.
So we walked into Gucci, and because she's a Gucci lover, and there's nothing wrong with that. She busts her butt for the life that she lives now, working her business. But we walked into Gucci, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I'm fine," because sometimes taking me back to
Mm,
older places, like before, even when Kalani and I would drive down my old stomping grounds, like my heart would beat really fast, and
wow.
I would feel a certain type of way, and I wasn't sure what it was. And even when we would have events here in Las Vegas, and it would be on the strip, or some hotel, I would always like stick close to like close to
Right.
my clique, and I
Right.
would feel all these things, and it was really uncomfortable. So we walked into Gucci, and she was like, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I think I'm good." But I was looking around, watching her shop. I was excited for her. I was like, "You get the earrings, get the shoes," like she was like,
Mm.
"Should I get this?" I was like, "Yeah, get it, like get it all," like. But she was like, "Do you see anything in here that you like?" And I just was like, "No, no, I don't. Like, I don't. This does not turn me on." What made me happy was to watch her
Yeah.
like do all these things. And so, but then when we were in Kalani and I were in Aspen, Colorado, he parked in front of a Louis Vuitton, and I
Dirty guy.
yeah. No, but he didn't even know
Oh,
he parked in front of a Louis Vuitton. But I jumped out of the car, and I just was like, I looked at this bag through the window, and I was like, "Oh my God, I think I might want that bag," you
okay.
know? But it was, and then that was it. I've never thought about the bag ever again. But
Mm,
a lot of people think like I build my business or I do what I do for the money.
yeah.
And I don't. I do it because of the amount of lives that I'm able to change, and the amount of lives that I've been able to witness change in front of my eyes. I'm going to
Right.
give you folks an example. In our company, I've reached a level. Um, it's called Rank Six Champion, and basically, you can get a car, a free
Right.
luxury car, and the company pays for it. Well, I've hit that rank last April. I still have not gotten my car. And I don't do it for the car. You know what I mean? It's like I'll just keep going and building and shooting for all these things, but it's getting a luxury car, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I'll
Dirty head.
get it. Yeah, I'll get it when I'm ready. Like
I mean,
I
it goes to show that you mean when you do things for the right reasons, things start to change really, really drastically. Now, in fact, she's doing this interview right now from Arizona, meeting our other friend that's in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? And she just has this lifestyle right now, which is a few years ago, ladies
no,
and gentlemen, no way. Right,
no.
no way. She be coming to my house going, "What are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this?" I mean, it's just we sat on this couch and we used to talk stories and Kalani. I mean, just it's just such a blessing and a privilege to watch you help others also, because as far as taking the lead into, and companies gonna come and go, products gonna come and go, the one thing that's gonna stay the same is gonna be you, your inner you. And that's what I always truly believe. And a lot of times, like some of the women that's gonna be watching on this replay, or the people that follow us, is gonna understand a little bit more, because it draws them closer to you as far as being a whole person, knowing the journey, the struggle, the tears, the pain, the closed doors, you mean, and the triggers that you just went through just now. I never even thought of that'll trigger. And believe me, guys, she had a lot of purses between her and her sister. A lot of purses. I would go to her house. She would have like 5 Michael Kors purses, brand new on the table. Like, what you doing?
My thing was purses and
Yeah.
shoes. Oh my gosh, I think Kalani is so glad that he's not like, where do I put my clothes because your shoes is taking up all the
Right,
space. Like my
right,
thing was clothes and shoes. It was really bad. But you know, those things, Gordon, were like temporary fixes, yeah. Like smacking bondo on some
yeah,
ugly spot in our life. You know what I mean? Like it's just temporary fixes. So I've always, when I talk to women, I'm just like, if you really, really want to recover from anything, trauma, drugs, um, just stuff, you need to work on the inner, not just
mhm,
the outer. Even when I coach women, through diet and exercise,
right,
um, it's like you can drop all the weight you want, get your body in shape, eat healthy, do all the things. But if you are not happy with the person, what's going on in your heart, you will never be happy at any size, because when I talk to women, they're like, oh, I'll be so happy once I'm a size 3. Why aren't you happy now? Why
right,
aren't you happy with the person that you see now? Why
right.
don't you love the woman that you see now? What's going on? And so I call it the onion exercise because you got to peel back layer after layer. And the more layers we pull back, the deeper we get. And usually, if you're peeling back onions to that deep of layers, you start crying, you start working through all that emotions and stuff. And then you finally get to the core of it and you're just like, this is what's causing me to not love myself enough, or
Right.
this is what's causing me to relapse, or this is. So once we get to the base of what's causing people to feel or act on certain things and we work on that base, I think that's where people fully recover, and not just from addiction, like fully recover, um, period.
As a person. Yeah, as a
Yeah.
person, as a person. I've peeled back so many layers of shares with her family and her sisters. It's not even funny. But look at the result. Look at look at the situation. When I look at the situation from her son, Sonny, to her sister, to Jay. I mean, it's just, and I've always been there because, and she always knows she can call on me any given time
Hmm.
at any situation, whether it's going to be for business, this, that. It's just because that's the type of person I've seen in her. Because it's just so, it's just so fulfilling to see you become the person that's helping, carrying the work, shaping people's lives, shaping kids' lives, showing everybody that this is possible if you're willing to put in the work, right? Let me ask you another question, Sherry. Where should women recovering from emotional trauma, addicts, this, or men focus their efforts if they want to succeed in both the short and long term goals?
Where should they put their focus?
Yes.
um I think what we just talked about, the inner work.
Mm.
The inner work. A lot of people, what I've noticed is they want the instant gratification, right? They want things to happen right then and there. What I've learned through life is that anything worth having long term, even short term, anything that's worth having is going to take work, and we have to start on the inside. We have Not a lot of people want to do the inner work. They don't
Nope.
want to do the inner work. They
Nope.
want to do the outside work. I rather do sit-ups than do personal development, or I rather, you know what I mean? Like they rather do that kind of stuff instead of really focusing with what's going on the inside. And I think, I honestly believe that for me personally, had I not like focused so much on me, but focused so much on me, I would not be able to give back the way that I do. You
Absolutely.
know, my experiences, It's just anybody can pick up a book and read certain things, but for me, I rather learn from someone who's actually been in the trenches, like mud, dirt, sweat, tears, scrapes, bumps, whatever it is, like that's who I
Yes.
want to learn from.
Yes.
So even watching you, like in the beginning of my um sobriety, like I would always come to you, like whenever I was feeling stuck about something, or whenever I was like stressed out about something, or whenever I had a hard time, like just really thinking what is the right way to do something, like I would always call Gordon. And I think throughout life, having a mentor or having an accountability friend, or just having that support system, is important. Whether you went through an addiction or not, just having some type of mentor, somebody that you can um, go to, get advice from, pour your heart out into, and they're gonna just tell you things straight. Don't get you guys don't get you somebody that's gonna sugarcoat stuff and beat around the bush. You need somebody to tell you guys how it is. And so in each phase in life, you're going to have
Right.
different phases of mentors. You're going to have
Right.
different phases
Right.
of support system. You're going to have different phases of people that you go to, your circle. Everything comes in seasons. And so
Mm-hmm.
I would, for me, I think having friends like you, having mentors in life is important. People who don't understand that will be like, why would I need a mentor? Like, trust me,
Oh, yeah.
people need mentors, people need life coaches, people need personal development. And that's
Right.
the reason
Right.
why I
Right.
created my podcast, is because
Right.
I can pour out my heart and soul into this podcast, and people can download it, listen to it whenever they feel like, oh, I'm stuck. Just plug it in. And I've been a podcast person and book person, and I wasn't always like this, but
Nope.
when I started my recovery, Gordon actually got me started in books and podcasts. And he knew I love Tony Robbins. Like, Tony Robbins is my jam. And in the beginning of my recovery, when you're an addict, like coming out of detox and stuff, when you go see Tony Robbins in person, you're just like, holy crap, like what just happened to me? You know what I mean? And Gordon did that for me. In fact, Gordon, I was just telling a bunch of friends of mine that you took me to see Tony Robbins. And at the time, I wasn't even doing network marketing or like
Nope.
running a business. He just took me because he knew I loved Tony Robbins, and that I was coming out of a bad place, and like, to feed a person's mind that type of motivation, um, is amazing. So thank you for that. Like, I always talk about that. Like, I always tell my friends, like, my God, I was coming out of, because even when my first week of detox, um, I was watching Netflix, waiting for Kalani to come home from work, and I was scrolling through Netflix, and that's when I Am Not Your Guru
Right.
was playing on Netflix. And so try be like 3 days into detox and listening to Tony Robbins, like on the TV, and then like a month later, I don't know exactly how much afterwards that you took me in person, but I got to see Tony Robbins in person, and that totally changed my life. Like, just to have that type of support, just to have somebody believe in you, even at the times that you don't believe in yourself. Because
Right.
I wasn't sure that if I could do self rehabilitation on my own. And
Strange.
sometimes we don't know how strong we are until that's
Absolutely.
all we got left. And so I just buckled down, and in the beginning did whatever Gordon said to do, and then and then life got busy. I went back to work full time as a dental assistant, and then I found this opportunity, and last summer I was able to bring myself home from a full-time job and just
Right.
invest invest in my invest my time in my family, especially my
Absolutely.
grandbabies.
Yep. I see him.
um, and in building healthy relationships, I think that's super important in life. You can have all the money in the world, and if you do not have healthy relationships with other people, you'll be the poorest person ever.
I mean, understand it's because a lot of the times someone needs to have that nudge, have that person that's been there, done that, seen that, meaning we figure a way how it's a gift that's a curse and a blessing at the same time to be able to understand that if I could get this person to just hop this fence or do things for them so that they can reach the point that they're at right now is my blessing and curse because it takes a lot of time from a lot of things, but managing that is going to be a lot of times. I mean, let me ask you this last one before we close out, right? What final thoughts do you have to help motivate recovering women, people holding on to second chances to get started or take that second chance that they have, that opportunity to the next level if they ever had one?
um, I would say, uh, if you want your life to have a meaning, if you want what you went through to serve a purpose, I
Mm-hmm.
would use it as I'd flip the script and use
Oh,
it as a stepping stone to go out there and help better other people's lives. They say, you know, that saying, I don't exactly know word for word, but when we invest into other people, or the more you pour into other people, the more you pour into yourself.
correct.
So whenever I feel like I have a crappy day or whatever, I immediately go and I send gratitude messages to people or write letters and mail it to them.
I got one. Before she went on stage, she went on before she went on stage. She sent me a letter from I don't know what she was. She was up on stage.
I was in Texas and I wrote that letter of gratitude. It's just because like, so if you want your life to serve a purpose, a lot of us coming out of addiction, rebuilding life again,
Right,
we throw pity parties for ourselves, right? We're just
right.
like, damn it. And you saw me do this. Like, I would get so frustrated. Like,
Oh,
I ruined my credit. I can't even get a decent place to live because I can't, I have eviction on my credit report. Like, I have everything, you guys. Like, everything that you could think of to rip your life apart, I've done
ye-
it. Okay.
oh, I got to help her
And
with that
so,
too.
we throw these pity parties, but instead of sitting there wallowing and throwing pity parties and feeling sorry for ourselves, like, the best way to make all of that count for something, right?
Right.
You want your life to count for something. We have only one life. Like, make it count for something good. Flip the script on your past and use your past as a stepping stone. Let your past serve its purpose, because let's face it, like, we survived what we went through. You survived what you went through, and whoever is watching this survived what you went through for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you think so or not, it's for a reason. And the reason is usually to turn it around and share your experience. I just did a podcast on the power of your story. Like, there is so much power in people's stories, and everyone has a story.
Right.
And it doesn't matter, like I said, everybody's level of rock bottom is different.
Mm-hmm.
And so it doesn't have to be anything drastic like yours and mine. It doesn't have to be like they had to serve 15 years in federal prison, or they were a homeless drug addict, or it doesn't have to be that in depth, but it serves a purpose. And when you can push through those experiences, push through those tough times, you need to share those. You need to
Right.
share those, because not a lot of people don't know how to get through tough times, believe it or not. People don't know how to um like use have coping skills, or how, and your life experiences can teach other people that.
All right.
So
Yep. Yep. Absolutely true. And in fact, we're gonna have to end on that note. How can they find you on your podcast or reach you or everything? What's your handles? Where can they reach you?
Um, they can find. I'm here on Facebook.
Yes.
I have a you either my personal page, Sherrie Tavares,
Yep.
or my
Please
reg.
follow her. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
or my
her podcast, The Recovering Mom, Raw
the
and Ended,
recovery.
is pretty good. Follow her on Instagram. It's Share Tavares on her website, and
Don't
figure out.
listen to don't listen to the podcast in front of
No,
your
listen
kids,
to the
though. Okay.
podcast because this is usually what I teach. I show other people different ways, different strategies. You can learn a lot from Sherry. She's you can learn a lot from what she's doing, what she's overcame, and how she can get on social media. And I just want to thank you, Sherry Tavares, for a great interview. In fact, we should do this more often because
Yeah.
it's like a lot of more things I can be on her podcast. I'm sure all the recovering women, men, people holding on to second chances in our audience learn a lot based on how you got started, how you ended, and how important holding on to second chances is, and how they can use what they learned for their own situations. So thank you. You know how
Thank
long we've been
you.
waiting for this? You,
Years, Gordon. This has been into play for
it's a journey.
years.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
Yep. In fact, we were supposed to do it one on one with the cameras and everything, but thank you so very much. And I'm sure when people watch this replay, for the people that I'm helping now, and for the people you're helping, a lot of times we can relate to that. And thank you for all the people that's going to be watching the replay. Please give us a comment, a like, a thumbs up. And I didn't tell Sherry this, but it's streaming on YouTube too at the same time. But you can be watching this on the replay of any platforms on the podcast, Real Talk, Real Stories, Real Change. And if you want any more, you guys have a great day. And it's just such a pleasure serving you and watching you all change in a way that's in for between me and Sherry. We just want to help people get to where they need to be. You mean? And if we can use our stories, our situations, like she said, we rode around in the mud. In fact, sometimes I'm popping my head over the mud. Sometimes, no, we're just kidding. But I just want to say, please like, share, comment. And if you have any questions, please reach out to any of us. Leave a comment. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right. Any closing remarks, Cher?
No, but I forgot to mention, and I just saw it in the background there, that if any of you never got picked up Gordon's book yet or read his book, go do it. Like, read it, call him, text him, message him, go get his book. Um, his book, he actually inspired me to start writing again, and that's why I'm here in Arizona to kind of get some work done. But his book helped me a lot. So and I know he's been giving it out to the youth, at risk youth here in Las Vegas. But go read his book.
In
You
fact,
won't be disappointed.
I'm giving it away for free. All you have to do is go
You
to
are?
stoptrippingoverpennies.com. I'm giving it away for free as a PDF download because we can't physically meet people anymore.
Oh
Right?
yeah,
So it's like, why not? I just give it away for free. I wrote it for people to
to help.
understand that things can move on. All right. It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
I will stop this and we'll get together soon, sure. All
All
right.
right. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. Right. Bye
Bye.
bye.